Anonymous all the way from 1994. And I often explain that because I believe I was the hardest headed person in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous because I could not grasp to understand this simple program to save my life. I felt that I had the lick on making it by myself. I was going to use successfully by myself. Regardless of what came down, I wanted to do it by myself. And in doing that, I realized something in all of these years, I couldn't fucking do it by myself. That was the first miracle that happened. The very first one is when I understood that I couldn't do this shit by myself, right? I looked at all other things in the whole world and I realized don't nothing happen by itself. That was the first thing that came to my understanding after years of trying so hard. I came in the rooms in 1994 by way of the Alcoholics Anonymous in 1992 when I went into rehab. I was in the military at the time. And at the time I was married and had 2 children. And I was getting discharged from the military because I wanted to drink again, right? From that, I felt a need to say, forget the world. I was going to go on a rampage and do whatever I wanted to do in life, all because I could not figure out why I was doing the things that I've done. That's more to the story. Because from the beginning of my early living, I always did what Joseph wanted to do, period. I even manipulated my mom to not to have to feed me vegetables. I know this sounds funny, right? But I'm telling you, I'm serious. Even though my stepdad forced it down my throat, my mom catered to me so much that she would fix my food separately from everybody else. And now I'm 58 years old and I still don't eat vegetables. That's a true fact. That's because the disease of my addiction took on its own early in my life. And I'm just talking about the vegetables part. Now I'm going to get to the drug part. I did this also in the course of my life, wanting to use drugs by any means necessary, right? I got accustomed to doing what Joseph liked to do. That's how I got out the military, because I wanted to drink and celebrate and still serve the military. Uncle Sam said, we're not doing that here. And he forced me out. So when he did that, I got upset at Uncle Sam that I thought. So I became a menace to society. That's the word it's called. When you do things against the law, right? Then when I got caught, because I thought I wasn't going to never get caught, then I got caught. I had to go to prison, not 1, but 2 times. Been to jail, in and out of jail a couple times. That's because of me, right? I thought that I was going to outsmart everybody in the world because I graduated from BYU. For some of y'all, that's backyard university, because you don't understand that part. That's what I thought. I kept coming back and forth. I got introduced in 1994, and I had a 3-year stint. Didn't work no stem, just was paint on the wall. People didn't even know who I was. 2007, did it again. Had another 5-year stint. And those because I was in prison. Because in prison, I'm a model inmate. I'm going to get up, I'm going to make my bed, I'm going to dress, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to wear my ID card. I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to walk in the straight line. I'm not bucking nothing. Unless it comes to an inmate or something like that, then we have a problem. But the rules, I'm going to try to go to them the best I can. When I got out of prison from feds and the state, I did 100% no violations on state and federal. Imagine that. That's right. Because I kind of figured out I was tired of going back to jail. I kind of figured I was tired of going back to prison. So I knew I had to change some part of my life, but I wasn't willing to change all of it. I wanted to pick and choose what I wanted to change, right? I had a little job. I got a divorce from my first wife, and I picked up another hostage right after that. I've been married to her for 25 years. Now we're going through a divorce because she said enough was enough. Because although I've been clean for the last 5 years, does not make up for the 20 years that I carried her through hell. And I mean that. I carried her through hell. And I understand that today, right? And this is where that 5-minute rule come in, right? Because when I came in this time, I had a different outlook on life. I had open heart surgery in 2016, and that didn't stop. That did not stop me from going further into my addiction. 2021, I decided to stop. I had to go get some psychological help to help me to think different because my thinking was really flawed. And I understood that after all these years trying to do this myself, I figured I needed some type of help, some kind of assistance outside of Narcotics Anonymous. I'm not saying Narcotics Anonymous didn't help me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I needed some assistance outside of Narcotics Anonymous because I couldn't grasp this fucking simple program. I couldn't grasp it because I had a closed fucking mind. My mind was just closed. I was closed-minded to any idea, a new idea, somebody else's idea, a new way of life. I just was closed-minded to that. Or when I started taking the medicine, started talking to the psychiatrist, and started divulging some things that I was holding on to, I was able to live a different life. And I say, a month after I got released from recovery program, my new hostage mom got murdered, got shot in her face 5 times by her son. Now, I'm at a crossroad because I like to do what I like to do, and that's do what I want to do. But my higher power saw something different, and he separated us. I'm grateful for H&I because without it, I wouldn't have known what to do. We had a H&I commitment of Oxford came in, and my brother said, go and be accountable, Joe. Don't go out there and get you a place by yourself and become lonely again. So I went and got into Oxford. The first one said no. The second one said hell no. The third one said sure. And I cried because I didn't give up 5 minutes before the miracle happened. I kept going on and on and on until my higher power helped me. I didn't give up. I got around some group of guys who was trying to do the same thing that I was trying to do, and that was recover. I didn't hang around those who wasn't trying to recover, who was making excuses not to go to work, who was making excuses not to make their bed, who was making excuses not to go see their girlfriend or pay their child support or whatever the case, negative thing that they were doing. I stayed away from. Period. There was nothing else to talk about. If you wasn't doing what I was doing or going that route, I didn't have nothing to talk to you about because I didn't want the disease of addiction rearing this little head up at me and have me run off with them as well. I took that. It took a long time for me to comprehend that little part right there. Since 1994, I'm going to say that. That took that long for me to comprehend that little part. The next thing I understood when I was going to meetings with a friend, because I had a vehicle, I would not get in my vehicle and go to no meeting because my vehicle liked to veer off into the projects or somewhere. It likes to find its way down different dark streets and stuff and picking up people and all that other dumb shit, right? So I stayed accountable. I went with somebody and I explained to them honestly, openly, and said, I don't want to go to no meeting by myself. Would you mind going with me? And they said, sure. And I always had somebody to go with. When I went to these meetings, I started getting some phone numbers. Now, mind you, I've been in and out of this program since 1994. I know how the program works on the outside. For actually getting in the middle of the program, I needed some help. So I got some phone numbers. And I'm grateful for the phone numbers that I have received. Because some of I just stored, some of my used, some of my text in the morning, some I didn't say nothing to at all. May 18, 2022, my daughter-in-law committed suicide in front of her children, 3 of them. Shot herself in the head. Left my son parentless. Well, he was the only parent. 3 children. I did not feel the need to use. I picked up the phone because I had some phone numbers. God has been practicing his way in my life little bit at a time. And each little bit, as he showed me that he was still there for me, I grasped onto. I picked the phone up and I called my support network now. And they helped me. Next, August of the same year, 2022, August 22nd of 2022, my father, he passed. But the ironic part about my father passing is that I had to go there and pull the plug on him. And the other part to it is that he was my biological father, but also my uncle. We talking about some crushing things here because my sister saw enough in me to ask me what to do. Had I not been clean, I wouldn't have been able to show up for none of it. I got up there. It was just me and her. The doctor asked, what do you want to do? I had to pray because I had some choice words I wanted to say to him about what he had done. But I'm grateful for the program Narcotics Anonymous because I could understand the disease of addiction. I could understand what it must have felt like for 50 plus years of not being able to say nothing to your son. I can't even think of that now, and I got children. How many years he wanted to pick up the phone and tell me that he couldn't. They kept that a secret all my life. From that, I still don't even talk to my mother about it because that's her side of the street. I'm just grateful to be here today. We talk about not giving up 5 minutes before the miracle happened now. Because if I'd have gave up, I'd have went right back out there to use it, to try to numb all these fucking feelings that I have of who I am. Not only that, my mama disclosed to me at an early age that she tried to abort me by using. I came out of fetal alcohol syndrome, baby. My mother also told me at 10 years old she didn't want me. So in my brain just didn't tick right after all of that, right? Normal is not normal to me no more. Because how somebody have something and don't want it, right? Yeah. But I see her wanting her other children, but not me. But I couldn't sit there and let that fester in there. Could not give up 5 minutes before the miracle happened because now I'm an adult now. So I'm responsible for myself now, right? That's what I am. And I'm grateful for Narcotics Anonymous for showing me how to live a different way. Because this one, July 25th, 2023, my oldest child was murdered. We talking about 5 minutes before the miracle. I had a home group, I had a sponsor, I had some phone numbers, and I used all of it. I was in the kitchen of my daughter's house, and I was contemplating on what to do. What to do, I mean, do I give up all of this that I have built so far in recovery to go and do a selfish act? Because that's how I felt. And I'm not talking about the drugs. I'm not talking about picking up no dope, no liquor bottle, none of that. Part of my disease is getting back when somebody hurt me. And I don't care what level of consequences this addict has to do to get back. I said at the beginning, my wife wanted a divorce because I carried her through 20 years of turmoil because she cheated on me one time. I'm talking about my level of vindictiveness goes for years until I feel like I got back. I don't care if sitting up upside down in prison. But Narcotics Anonymous has showed me a different way. I don't have to be self-destructive anymore. I don't have to give up 5 minutes before the miracle happened because he has showed me that it does work. How he showed me it does work is because other people in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous has shared the same thing that happened to them and what they did to get through. Only thing I had to do is stop acting like I graduated from BYU and follow the damn program. I picked the phone up. I called a person who sat there on the phone with me that I never talked to, but thank God he had over 30 years of recovery. Because if I picked it up with somebody who had one day, I don't know if they'd have stayed on the phone with me. I can't judge that, but I can judge this. He stayed on that phone. He told me what to do. He said, I want you to call another recovering addict, but he had to go to work. This was at 5 o'clock in the morning. When I came back from the hospital, I wanted to knock my child's mama across the goddamn street because she left before they announced my daughter did. That's what I wanted to do. But I have to worry about my side of the street. What can I do? That's her side of the street. I'm on my side of the street. That's something that Narcotics Anonymous has showed, right? I can't worry about what the fuck other people do. I can't place unrealistic expectations on other people. They're human, Joseph. They're going to make mistakes, right? They're going to make mistakes. They're going to fall short. They're going to fall short. They don't have to live up to my expectations. But before Narcotics Anonymous, I thought they did. And I'm grateful that I called another addict because they came around me and took me into a meeting and I shared the exact nature. I was hurt. It's still kind of touchy for me because 4 of my grandchildren was in that room when they were shooting. 5 guys shooting into the walls. The gratitude I have today is that I'm here. I can't explain what I mean I'm here. I'm here mentally, right? As well as I'm here physically. Because I could be here physically, but mentally gone, right? I'm here physically and mentally because I helped my granddaughter get through this ordeal so she can graduate from school, high school. She was the one laying on the couch when they were shooting. My granddaughter often asked me to go do harm to them. And I had to talk to her. There's no level of harm gonna bring her mama back. I have to find a solution and get out of the problem because if I don't, I will lose my recovery. That's 5 minutes before the miracle happens. And I'm not giving that up for nobody today. That includes my granddaughter. I love who I am today. It's once upon a time I did not love who I was. I felt unwanted in this world because I thought I was unique until my sponsor showed me in the basic text that I ain't fucking unique in no form or fashion, even being an incest baby. I am not unique. I ain't the first one who had been done like that. I ain't the first one who lost their child to murder. I ain't the first one who has a gambling problem. I ain't the first one who wanted to be vindictive. I ain't the first one who has a vindictive spirit or negative character defects. But he showed me something else. I got some positive character assessments, some good things about me. And that's what I hold on to for those 5 minutes. Those positive things that I have inside of me that I can see every day. Picking up the trash for the next door neighbor and not even worried about if you say thank you or not. Helping a lady with her groceries or open the door to a lady who's walking in or order dinner. Those things. Just doing the right thing for the right reason, for the next right reason. Another one helped me was in one of the meetings, I heard a guy divulge some information that I said to myself early in my recovery, I would have never said that in the meeting. That was early in my recovery though. Now later on in my recovery, I don't care what it is. If I'm on fire, I'm talking about it. Because that's what the disease want me to do, be quiet. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. Because I see other addicts that done it, they still in recovery. I see addicts who gave up 5 minutes before the miracle happened, lose their clean time. I'm not trying to change I ain't gonna say try. I ain't changing my clean time. It's 5 minutes before the miracle happened. I'm gonna pick up the phone. I'm gonna disclose what's going on with me in the meeting. I'm gonna work the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous to the best of my ability. And guess what? I could do it again when I get finished with the 12 steps. I could do it again. So what I wouldn't open the first time, I get to do it on the second time. What I wouldn't open on the second time, I could do it again on the third time. And little bit by little bit, I done disclosed a lot of stuff. At my pace. At my pace. This is not a race. But it does say don't give up 5 minutes before the miracle. That's what it does say. It is hope. You can get through it. I know I did. And I'm still growing. I'm still growing. 5 disabilities. Dyslexia. That's one, right? I read shit backwards on the paper. Thus, this, there's the. Fetal alcohol syndrome, baby. Major depression disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. And antisocial personality disorder. This is not what I said. This is what doctors said about me. But yet, I graduated from Tidewater Community College last semester. I can't overuse right now. And I'm saying that to say, if I can do it with 5 disciplines, if I can change my life with Narcotics Anonymous, because none of this would be none of it. No, I ain't say part, none of it. None of it. I'm explaining my service with it. See, I want to be able to go and help people who suffer from mental illness. That's what I want to do. And I don't want to give up 5 minutes before the miracle happened to be out. I walk across that stage at ODU with that degree. I even want to go and get a doctorate degree. But how far my higher power had me do that, that's up to him, not me. I'm going to do one step at a time. I'm going to put in the work to do it one step at a time and not give up. Somebody going to have to tell me to stop in order for me to stop. I go to the cardiologist. He told me to walk. I used to think that walking was going to help. I'm trying to explain you how hard-headed I am. The doctor say walk for 15 minutes. I said, how is that going to help me? That's not running. That's not jogging. That's not doing nothing. He said, just do it. And I've done it. And miraculously, he told me a couple of years ago to get my fucking affairs in order because I was that hard-headed. I didn't know I was facing death that fast. But out of those walks, my ejection fraction was down under 20. Now it's up to 52. I got a better life now because of Narcotics Anonymous. I got a place that I can go and disclose anything that I'm going through and get a solution to it. I can get help. I'm not being judged by nothing that I've done or do. My past cannot be redone. It's overdone. That shit is in stone. It is what the fuck it is. My past is just what it is. I've learned in Narcotics Anonymous, the opinion of others does not define my reality today. And I want y'all to remember that. The opinion of others does not define your reality today. You can do whatever you put your mind to do. You do not have to use never again just because you feel like it. You do not have to give up 5 minutes before the miracle happens. If you so choose to. If you so choose to. I'm going to say this in closing. The hardest thing for me was my stepchildren. Because I raised them for the last 25 years. And now me and the mom are splitting up, divorced. It's hard for them to get their own identity with. And I have to allow them their space and their time. Because in that, I have grandchildren that don't understand none of this shit. But because I work a program of recovery, I don't want to give up 5 minutes before that miracle happens. I can't be so bent on wanting to do what I want to do and try to justify that shit for this. I have to allow time, because time takes time, right? Time takes time. But I just don't want to give up 5 minutes before that miracle happened to when they call me and say, I miss you, Papa. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Joseph. One more time for Joseph. I'm an addict named Adam.
Hey,
And I love y'all, and I love you. And you know, it takes work. Takes work. There's things that make me want to give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Resentments. Someone told me if recovery, right, is a journey uphill, okay? And then you heard Joseph share about all them heavy rocks. Like, we're going to have baggage, right? And sometimes heavy rocks, right? Big boulders. You know, we got to set that down. Come to a meeting, set it down and share. You know, free yourself. I'll tell you this, though. That pebble in your shoe, that can be the worst. Them small things make me want to give up real quick. You know, some things he shared about were, you know, coming to a meeting and opening up. I know what it's like, too. That's why him and I connect. My sister and mother were murdered in active addiction as a direct result, 3 months apart. And I was so angry and so pissed at the person, right? Like, I just wanted to go put a bullet in their head. Like, I was pissed. And I went into a meeting, and now someone told me, they were like, look, you got to pray for their health, their happiness, and their prosperity. And I did. I had to do that for me. But I shared in the meeting, like, I wanted to kill them, cut them up, cook them, and eat them. And I shared that in the meeting, right? And afterwards, this cat came up to me. He was like, hey, man, I say we start a meeting. And I was like, oh, all right. God allowed us to. And that was me sharing some crazy shit, right? I don't know why, but it inspired this person. He said, we need to start a meeting. We went downtown, right, to this big church, East Freemason Street, 400 East Freemason, huge room, right? Boom, boom, boom. And we started a meeting. And I'm telling you, not 3 months later, the COVID hit. Thank God, though, because the room is so big. Like, we could measure out 6 feet. We could have sanitizers. Luckily, the whole area uses the church. You've been there, right? Again, not giving up 5 minutes before the miracle, on my journey, setting those big rocks down and sharing some stuff. I mean, look, the shit that he's been through, do you work steps?
Work steps.
I mean, it's a lot and it's hard. But if it's like one meeting a day, like I always heard 90 meetings in 90 days. Right. And I came in and out for 10 years. And then when I didn't reach, I got to like day 11, I cried. Like I wanted to get clean, but then it was like, just go to a meeting one a day, get on my knees twice a day and pray. I've crawled on my knees looking for crack, for weed. I've crawled in rooms, right? But I can't get on my knees and pray. Those were some things that I listened this time, and then doing the step work and getting the sponsor and calling them. I don't know why that's what they do, but that's what it is, and it's like there isn't a lobotomy. There's not a lobotomy. You know what I mean? It's like, look, I'm not saying that them other places don't work. Smart recovery, right? I mean, there's 100 different adaptions of the 12 steps. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying I've had the luxury I got to go to school too, right along, right? And I get to go to like conventions, and when there's somebody there and they're doing legislature and it's, who's there, some cat with 20 plus years, and they're either in AA or NA. I swear, there's never that dude that's like, or chick that's like, well, I started meditating and working out and then they're not like us. I mean, there's something divine. We are so diverse. He comes from Chicago, and, our backgrounds are so diverse, but we aren't unique. Now, sometimes our recovery will go in phases. I mean, look, my first 4 years, I was flying, y'all. I mean, man, I did the steps. They got me working at a daycare. I had a son. That was when I was sharing my 12th step, right? Miracles, all these miracles that happened. Now for the last, I've been going through it clean. But going through it, like life shows up clean. He's getting a divorce clean, but I know he wouldn't give it up. All the stuff that he shared, all that pain, there's no way. There's no way he would give it up. And me neither. Me neither. I can't. I don't forget the first time I drank, the first time I had eczema. I remember the first time I smoked crack. I remember the first time I smoked crack with my mom. I ain't even left the country, right? And I was like 16, 17, smoking crack with my mom. And then we'd listen to John Lennon. And I thought that I was like better than y'all because I'm high on crack listening to John Lennon. I thought I was real spiritual. I go shopping and pick out the toilet paper with the fuzzy bear on it. Like, that's how good my life is. Or the one with the angel wings, like work and continuous work. And I promise there is the miracles. Lost dreams will awaken. I mean, I did not think I would go to school and get degrees. I swear. Like coming in here, I swear to y'all, the only thing I wanted to do was quit using because, well, I didn't like how I felt when I wasn't using. Like, I'm not going to beat around it. I mean, I used to say I'm doing it for myself. That is kind of true. But it wasn't until I worked the steps that I found out, like, damn, I didn't know who I was. I really didn't know who I was. Just try it. When you get out of here, there's 2 ways to go. Recovery or relapse. I swear, I don't mean to be that brash, but it's like, that's how it is. I don't know why. If I'm not recovering, well,
working on
something, And so what do? I swear, I wake up in the morning, I already know all the stuff. All that heartbreak, all that using. All of it. Living across from the recovery center, shooting up with my family, everybody that's died, it doesn't go away like the rocks, right? They say the more you share, the more freedom from the pain, but that don't mean that it goes away. I mean, we all have it. We all have what we've done and what we're going to go, and we have that, that doesn't go away. We get different perspective on it. We work the steps. So it's like I wake up, oh yeah, they told me I got to get on my knees and pray, I'm not even religious. Whatever. Throw that. Like, I used to come up in here and be like, well, it says he. It says God's a he. Well, they wrote it 100 years ago. We ain't changed it. That's the language. You come up with a different word for what we're trying to describe, whatever it is. Ain't nobody tricked us. I always thought, everybody's using. It's a conspiracy. I'll take it. If I'm not wearing my drug dealer's clothes, living in my car with 2 donuts, ain't paid the insurance, you know what I'm saying? Like, dying, right? I will take the conspiracy, I'll take it. Get on my knees and pray. Then it's like, well, what meeting am I going to go to? And like, geez, like the last thing I want to do is go to a meeting. Or like he said, he's brought up other stuff. So it's like, oh, I got to go to that fellowship now for a little bit? I got to go to that fellowship now? I mean, when they say cunning, baffling, insidious, chronic, progressive, fatal disease, we are the lucky ones. We are the ones. I mean, I've been through treatment numerous times. I went to jail, right? And we're still alive. We're the lucky ones. It's like, man, we get a chance, and so not giving up before the miracle. I'm going to tell y'all right now, May 13th of 2018, I was still using, and I was like, fuck them. I'll show them. I'll go to a meeting a day. And then I don't know. I just stopped picking up. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know why, but I mean, if I got to hear every day, I hear that reading, jails, institutions, and death. What?
Or finding nowhere to live.
Why is that in my life? Why is that in my life? And we believe there's no coincidences. They say that there's no coincidences. There's not, there isn't coincidences. It's, and we are worthy. We are worthy. I mean, lost dreams will awaken. I promise you, you don't go from hell, right? We've been through hell to then, a level up from hell. What is that?
Purgatory.
I mean, I guess if I keep fucking around and doing the wrong thing, like you get a little bit of time, right? Like going out of his way to forgive or stay in his lane. Like I learn. I got to remember, I got to stay in my lane. Anything that comes before my recovery, I lose. It's so weird. Like, the job, all those things, the job. I swear, if you get out of here and you just recover, that's your excuse to your people. Sorry, I got to do 2 meetings a day for 2 months. Sorry, can't work. Like, I've never seen it on the news where it was like, local recovering addict just got out of Avenues, was recovering so hard, they lost even more than miracles happen. There is now I can never be a millionaire. I'm just not fit for it. And most of us won't. They found out early on that a lot of us won't, but there's always someone in the rooms that it's like next thing you know, you're making double than what you thought you would be making, and you're working with someone in recovery, but I really had to just try. I had to put in 51%. I had to put in 51%, and a lot of times it really just meant getting on my knees and praying and just going to a meeting. That was it. Everything else will work itself out. If I do that every day, just get on my knees and pray, go to a meeting, even the Zooms. I mean, drug of choice, I get that. But shit, I just want to change how I feel, and I had smoked that nasty granddad crack, when you've been up for like 7 days and they rip you off with that cement shit and you go and you smoke it and it just fucking ruins everything. Well, that's Zoom to me. I still did granddad crack. I can do a Zoom and it counts. And I keep track of all my meetings in my calendar. I mean, I always knew what I was buying. I always knew what I was buying, right? I always knew, is it a 22 I'm drinking? If it ain't a 10 milligram, give me an 800 milligram ibuprofen, right? Like that's kind of, so I always knew. So I try to keep track of it. That's why it's like pray twice a day, try to make it to a meeting once a day and really work the steps to the best of my ability, And if you haven't worked the steps and you've heard, oh, step 4, man, you've already done it. You've already done step 4. You've lived it. All you're doing is writing it down and then sharing it with somebody. And then they're going to be like, oh, let me tell you that was abuse, what you went through. Right? Like I had things with my mother and I didn't know that using drugs with your kids was abuse. I didn't know that. I swear to God, I had no idea. And then I shared it and I was like, oh, like different perception, the hope, the freedom. I mean, it's infinite. It is infinite. Recovery is truly infinite. I'm going to let y'all share.
Hey, Riley.
Riley, love you.
With what you were saying earlier about it's like thinking you know everything, but you're always right. And I've also been on doing this 18, 38 now. I had my first name when I was 50. So it's been a long time in programs and out tons of programs, prison videos, everything. But yeah, it's just always been that constant. There's no one more fucked up than me. Nobody knows better than me. Like, this shit's fucked stupid. I go to meetings. The fucking first time I was like old timer. So I'm a kid, I'm a little kid. You don't want to listen to what you want to say. It's like, I'm never going to be like that. And then it goes from eating alcohol to you see how this eating goes. But yeah, I finally just come to that place where I'm so fucking sick and tired of being sick and tired with this. It's just, I had like 5 months of recovery before I came here, where I was actually truly sober for the first 20 something years. And all like no day apart whatsoever the first 20 years I never was sober. So I finally got where I had 5 months of real sobriety. No alcohol, because that was always sober to me. I was like, oh yeah, I got 2 years sober, but I was a fucking pissed strong alcoholic, so I didn't want to take a shot so I could go back to sleep, But yeah, I'm just grateful that I'm finally in a place where I'm the last time I got arrested, I finally prayed like an honest prayer to God or whatever and I meant it for once. Like I prayed that prayer before to, take this shit away from me. It's taking it away from me now. And it's just like, I got to do my part now to work. It's not fucking myself. It's fucking situation. It's getting around this people and all that shit. But I do see a right, clear path for me now. I give it all to God because it's only God, whatever. God's the only reason I'm clean to begin with. Working a program, it would be the reason I'd stay. So yeah, I'm gonna give AA and NA a real chance. Finally, when I get out of here, because I've never given it a real chance. Just always been too stubborn. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Thanks, Riley. Love you.
Riley, page 298 in the Blue Book, 6th edition.
Is that page 298?
Yes, for him. Unique.
So I don't know how you fit this. The hardest thing comes in because my mom was shot and was famous with her boyfriend, and they found a gun knives and they pulled it. Deal with it. And that FBI called my church. And how do you forgive someone that does nothing like that? It's the hardest thing for me is it's like the people who have done that to her. Like I know it's supposed to be like forgiveness is forgive, and you're supposed to like let go of that resentment. But I was on the phone with her. Same day that she was shot, she was crying her eyes out. So I don't know how I can move on from that. Because like it keeps coming back to me. It keeps coming back to me. I've written letters. I've said goodbye to her. I prayed. I think the hardest thing for me is to just be like, okay, she's gone. And Carrie, she's not gone. She's not. She'll never be gone full. So I never got to see her. I never got to say I love you. And it hurts. It hurts really, really bad. So I don't know how. I understand it's not just getting over it, and I understand like you're gonna hurt through it. But I have this like this severe hate for people about that. And like she was also in heroin, and that's me fan. We don't know who did it, but at the same time, I don't want to let go of that. Like deep down in me, like that every time I think about her, I get back. I can't just let that go. And lately it's been hard for me to even concentrate to that level.
Now, before I turn it to him, my case is different in that I knew the person and I knew that they were a sociopath, but an addict. And I mean, look, come on, when I'm praying deep down, they better be on the sun burning. But when I stop and it's in my heart, I pray to God he gets the program of Narcotics Anonymous. Like the purity of the program, I can't. If you were to tell me that he found the program of Narcotics Anonymous, and so that's kind of where the prayer went, health, happiness, and his prosperity. No, I pray he finds Narcotics Anonymous, because if he did, then I feel like, even though deep down I still want to say, he ain't. Right? Because I mean, there's times that I have dreams where it would be like, you motherfucker, and like kicking and punching and crazy. And they wanted to put me on meds. And, your story's there was more more kids involved too. So
For my grandchildren. So the best I can say is the step work. The step work gave me a lot of freedom. Living the program of Narcotics Anonymous in my everyday life. They say miracles happen, and that's one of them, right? I forgot to share that I could have had just ordered their death because I'm affiliated. I forgot that part, right? And I don't say that loosely, right? But I had to figure out what would be best, because what would the outcome be if somebody told on me? I would lose all this that I have for my grandchildren. I wouldn't even be where I'm at today if I have done that, right? So the forgiveness piece was the most important part, because it also freed me to understand that God forgave me for all the shit that I'd done.
Something I always say too is, how can you expect God to forgive you if you can't forgive somebody else?
Right.
You can pray for peace. I know you believe God. And I met somebody come to my house and kind of, tell my daughter and felt sick, they are, and he didn't take the Lord. But they're trying to say that when he gets out of jail, and awful hard to encourage this. So I pray for peace. I pray that God just gives you peace to deal with whatever happens. Not that anything happens.
I promise you hit up on that health, happiness, and prosperity. I keep health, happiness, prosperity, health, happiness, prosperity. Get that mantra in. I'm telling y'all, it comes out of the big book. It comes out of the big book, Alabama. It's definitely something that helps me, and you're right. I don't think it never goes away. A lot of that never goes away, especially not,
You know?
4.5 years, I still cover like the age of the rage. Like when I think about it, I just want to rip somebody's head off and not care about who it is or walks away. Like, and it's so like, I'm not that kind of person. That's not who I am. But I just.
Can I tell you what else I had to do too? I also had to remember that my mother and my sister both put themselves in situations, right? Like that was another thing too. Like, crap, the disease of addiction. When I shared my fifth, I know that doesn't mean, but it was also like, oh yeah, my own lane. And look at like, oh yeah, and I'm not, it's like, it's hard to be like, because none of us deserve something like that. But the reality is, an addiction, or gang affiliation, he could do something from here and everybody that you love, right? And so it's like we put ourselves in places, and that's why they say, the only problem is me. Like, you have to change everything. The only thing you have to change is yourself. I swear too, man, I listened like the first years, 93.1 K Love. I still don't go down Pythian because I know she's got somas there. Like, I took the long way to go places. That's the action. In recovery, it's like you put in all this hard work, but you can't expect results. You just like put in hard work. But if you put in hard work for your addiction, you're going to get quick results. You know how fast, 30 minutes, right? For a pill or whatever, where time takes time. Like you said, like it's such a slow, but accepting the fact too, that, I don't want to put myself in those situations anymore. I want to be around people that are
Don't sound.
Thank you.
All right. I love y'all. What about just for today?
My name is Nate, and I'm an addict.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, Nate, love you.
Just for today, tell yourself. Just
So-
for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Just as today, I will have abilities. I will have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. But just for today, NA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today,
I will be unafraid. I was thinking my news says this. People will not use no found in any way of life. So we're going to follow that way. And thanks for reading.
All right.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for
thank
coming.
you so much.
Thank you.